Welcome to our study called Sin at the Door, and we're looking at Genesis chapter 4. Today we're in verses 3 through 5. So Cain and Abel mature and begin to work like their father Adam. Cain takes to working in the fields and becomes a farmer, while Abel gravitates towards caring for animals. From what we're told here, there is no sense of sibling rivalry or trouble between the brothers, at least yet. However, conflict arises when Cain and Abel worship God. Isn't that interesting? I think we often fail to see the setting of the brothers' conflict. Cain brings an offering and Abel brings an offering. This is family worship here. The example in Genesis is that the head of the family acts as the priest of the family. He would bring the family together and offer sacrifices before God. So we find Cain and Abel bringing what they want to give to God in worship. Cain brings some of his produce while Abel sacrifices the firstborn of his flock. Now the story does not indicate that one of the elements of sacrifice was better than the other. After all, God does command the Israelites to offer both animals and grain in sacrifice. So why does God have regard for Abel's offering and not Cain's offering? In Genesis, we don't find an explicit answer, and we have to be careful not to speculate, but there are a few hints in the story. Notice that Abel's offering cost him. The detail that he gave his firstborn and the fat portions as a sacrifice means that Abel's offering was costly. But Cain's response, his anger, is another hint as to what was wrong. Why did God respond in anger when God rejected Cain's worship and not sadness or repentance? This is where the New Testament will help us. Hebrews 11:4 says, "By faith, Abel offered to God a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain, through which he was commended as righteous, God commending him by accepting the gifts. And through his faith, though he died, he still speaks." By faith, Abel offered his sacrifice to God, as opposed to Cain, who did not offer his sacrifice by faith. Turn to 1 John 3:11 through 12. John is arguing, as he constantly does in his letter, that true Christians love one another. One of his persuasive arguments is this: we should not be like Cain, who was of the evil one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil and his brother's righteous. There's the answer. The division and the hatred between Abel and Cain is the difference between a follower of God and the world. This is the true division in the church. Both might gather together on Sunday morning to offer sacrifices to God. Some offer by faith and are offspring of Eve, while others come with sacrifices, but they're using sacrifices of self. They're coming by themselves and are offspring of Satan. Both offer, but only one does God regard. But even in the failure of Cain, we'll see that God still cares.